Welcome back to the Adventures of Chris and Mike. In this episode, we're going to be visiting the historic Fort Meade Museum in Sturgis, South Dakota. Join us now as my good friend Chuck Rambow takes us on a tour of the historic Fort Meade Museum.
In the following case, we have the very, very beautiful clothing of Dewey Beard. Dewey, of course, was the last of the survivors of the Little Bighorn when he died in 1955. Unfortunately, Dewey, a boy of 14, 15 years of age at the time of the Little Bighorn battle, had married, had a family at the time that the Wounded Knee Massacre occurred. He lost his wife, his immediate family, as well as several of his extended family, his parents, and several of his brothers and sisters at the Wounded Knee Massacre. Even with that loss, in 1890, on December the 29th, Iron Hale, the warrior at the Little Bighorn, changed his name in 1898 to Dewey Beard. When asked why the name Dewey, he said it is honor to honor the officer who captured Manila Bay in 1898, and to be sure that the Wasichun knew who he was talking about, the white people knew who he was talking about. He said it's that person with the beard. And Admiral George Dewey had a goatee. Unfortunately, the white ignorance, the white people called him Dewey Beard, not Dewey. And so Dewey Beard's wife is Alice Beard, not Dewey. But that is the name that he used from that day forward, 1898. In the case, we have Dewey's granddad's bear claw necklace, Dewey's small bow, and a number of the things that were of personal importance to Dewey Beard. In the adjacent case, we have the warriors, the Indians of the area. We're yet to add a picture of Dull Knife, the Cheyenne Morning Star, the one for whom the reservation in Montana is named. Little Wolf, who brought his people back here to the mountain in 1878 and 79, brought them back from Oklahoma. And we have Sitting Bull, Red Cloud, a little story of Crazy Horse. There, of course, is no picture of Crazy Horse. Gall, American Horse, and Spotted Tail. Spotted Tail was the chief, of course, of the Spotted Tail Agency, now the Rosebud, and Red Cloud was the chief of the Red Cloud Agency, now the Pine Ridge Reservation. Just beyond that, we have the beautiful dress that belonged to Alice Beard. That dress, a buckskin, beautifully beaded, weighs a little bit more than 15 pounds, so it's extremely heavy. It's a powwow dress. It would have been very heavy and very, very hot to wear in the powwow celebration. But that's very typical of the powwow articles. Also in the case, we have a number of the other things that are made from the buffalo, because in fact, the Indian people never allowed any part of the buffalo to go to waste, to the extent that one of the principal Cheyenne bands, the buffalo hunting Cheyenne, call themselves the Sutta, the sound the buffalo makes when it's feeding. Da, da, a rather blunt sound. And they call themselves Sutta, the buffalo hunting Cheyenne. Tsatsatsa, which means simply the people. And for the Cheyenne, the Tsatsatsa were the original people of the earth. They knew a very, very few other people. And it was their culture hero, a young boy by the name of Sweet Medicine, a Tsatsatsa, probably from Wisconsin, who brought the people out to know us, to what would become Bear Butte. And perhaps somewhere between 400 to 500 years later, then the buffalo hunting Cheyenne would arrive. And the Sutta would join the original group who were here. Today, the Sutta are basically the Montana Cheyenne and the Tsatsatsa. The original Cheyenne are now essentially in Oklahoma. And so you've got the two bands, the northern, the southern. Their commandments are: you must not kill, you must not steal, you must not commit adultery, you must not marry within your own family. And that last, forbidding the marriage within your own family, has necessitated that the northerns marry extensively into the southern families. So there is an extensive intermarriage now between northern and southern. And so not as clear, distinct line between the Sutta and the Tsatsatsa, but still Cheyenne. They speak the Algonquin language, the Cheyenne.
Stay tuned for more episodes of The Adventures of Chris and Mike as we continue our tour with Chuck Rambow at the historic Fort Meade Museum. And please subscribe to my channel.